Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learning Base Africa's Mental Math Live class. I hope you've been having an amazing time. It is time for us to learn mental math. Time for us to learn mental math. If you can hear my voice, type number 2000 in the comment section. If you can hear my voice, type 2000 in the comment section. I want to be sure you can hear me. So if you can hear me, type 2000 in the comment section. All right, fantastic. So let's continue learning mental math. Let us continue learning mental math. Now, what we're going to learn right now is multiplying odd and even numbers by 5. So we want to learn how to multiply by 5 in our head. Multiplying numbers by 5 mentally, okay? Mentally. Let's learn how to multiply by 5 mentally. Don't forget that we learned how to divide any number by 5. So a quick revision of how to divide by 5. A quick revision on dividing by 5. Now look at the first one. What is 49 divided by 5? What you need to do is to double 49, okay, by saying 49 times 2, and that will give you 98. Okay, introduce the decimal point before the last digit on the right, so the answer will be 9.8. Number 2, 81 divided by 5. What you need to do is to double 81 by saying 81 times 2. 81 times 2 will give us 162. Introduce the decimal points before the last digit on the right. That will be 16.2. Okay. All right. So 81 divided by 5 is 16.2. Now look at another one. Don't forget that we are revising dividing by 5. What is 96 divided by 5? Double 96. That means 96 times 2. And 96 times 2 will give us 192. Introduce the decimal point before the last digit. That is 19.2. 96 divided by 5 is equal to 19.2. Now, what is 104 divided by 5? Double 104. That means 104 divided by 2. Sorry, double 104. That's 104 times 2. That will give us 208. Then introduce the decimal points before the last digit on the right. Then we'll have 20.8. So that is 20.8. So 104 divided by 5 is 20.8. Okay, so now let's move on to multiplying by 5. So you can use this method for large numbers, okay? You can use this method to divide large numbers by 5. You can use this method to divide large numbers by 5. All right, so what if we have 762 divided by 5? Double 762, you're going to have 1524. Okay, then introduce the decimal point before the last digit. That will be 152.4. Now let's move on to multiplying numbers by 5. Now there are two different things we need to know. When multiplying numbers by 5, you need to consider the even and odd numbers. The even and odd numbers. So the first one we're going to deal with is multiplying even numbers by 5 in our head. Multiplying even numbers by 5 in the head. Multiplying even numbers by 5 in the head. If you can hear me, type 1000 in the comment section. Okay, so even numbers are numbers that end with even numbers are numbers ending with either 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. All right, so examples of even numbers. Examples of even numbers are 42, 68, 70, 12, 14, 44, 54, etc. So these are examples of even numbers. Now let's start by multiplying even numbers by 5. Now let's look at this. How can you multiply 34 by 5 in less than 5 seconds? How can you multiply 78 by 5 in less than 5 seconds? How can you multiply 106 by 5 in less than 10 seconds? All right. So these are strategies meant for only multiplication of even numbers by 5. How can you quickly multiply 52 by 5? How can you quickly multiply 52 by 5? Now, anytime you're multiplying even numbers by 5, what you need to do is to divide that number by 2. So let us divide 34 by 2, all right? That will give us 17. Then write 0 beside it, and that is the answer. I hope you understand. Anytime you're multiplying any even number by 5, divide that number by 2. Write down your answer, then write 0 beside it. So the final answer is 170. 34 times 5 is 170. So you can do this in your head in less than 5 seconds. Now, what is 78 times 5? What you need to do is to divide 78 by 2, and that will give us 39. Write down your answer and write 0 beside it. Write 0 beside it, okay? Now, let's look at the next one. 106 times 5. 106 times 5. Divide 106 by 2. That will be 53. Write 0 beside it. The answer is 530. Let's multiply 52 by 5. When you multiply 52 by 5, divide 52 by 2, you will get 26. Then write 0 beside it. So can you see how we're able to do this in less than 5 minutes? All right? Look at how we're able to do this. So you can do something like this mentally without spending time. Don't forget that I said that the goal of mental math is to help you speed up your math. All right? It is to help you speed up your math. Okay? Speed up your calculations, especially during examination. I hope you understand. Now, let's have more examples on multiplying even numbers by 5. Now, the next one, let's move on to large numbers. 174 times 5. Divide 174 by 2. 174 divided by 2 is 87. Then write 0 beside it. So 174 times 5 is equal to 870. That is equal to 870. Now let's move on to the next one. What is 426 times 5? Let's do this together in less than 5 seconds. Divide 426 by 2. We are going to have 213. Then write 0 beside it, and that is the answer. So 426 times 5 is equal to 2,130. 2,130. So this is how to multiply even numbers by 5. If you understand, type 500 in the comment section. If you understand, type 500 in the comment section. Okay, so let's move on to multiplying odd numbers by 5. Let's move on to multiplying odd numbers by 5. Multiplying odd numbers by 5. Now, the odd numbers are numbers that end with odd numbers are numbers that end with 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Odd numbers are numbers that end with either 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Examples of such odd numbers. 11 is an odd number, 13, 15, 17, and 19. 21, 23, 25, 27, and 29. Okay, any number ending with these numbers are called odd numbers. So they can also be large numbers. Okay, so now let us multiply odd numbers by 5. Look at the first one. How can we multiply 103 by 5? How can we also multiply 75 by 5? Anytime, anytime you're multiplying odd numbers by 5, the first thing you're going to do is to subtract 1 from that number. Okay? Subtract 1 from that number. That will give us 102. So 103 minus 1 is equal to 102. Then divide 102 by 2. That will give us 51. Okay, you know, for even numbers you will write 0 beside it, but this time you will write 5 beside it. You will write 5 beside it. Okay, so let's look at the second example. 75 times 5. The first thing you need to do is subtract 1 from 75. That will give us 74. Then divide 74 by 2. That will give us 37. Write down 37 and write 5 beside it, because they are odd numbers. Write 5, okay? Write 5. They are odd numbers. Please write 5 beside your final answer. For even numbers, you write 0 beside your final answer. And for odd numbers, subtract 1 before you divide by 2. Subtract 1 before you divide by 2. This is applicable to only when you are multiplying by 5. In a lot of calculations during you showing workings in mathematics, you will get to a particular place whereby you want to multiply by 5 or you want to multiply by 25. So this is an easy way to help you get done. Now look at the next one. What is 217 times 5? The first thing you need to do is to subtract 1. That's 217 minus 1. That will give us 216. Then divide 216 by 2. That will give us 108. Write 108 and write 5 beside your answer. So 217 times 5 is equal to 1085. This is another example. Let's use large number. What is 21,309 times 5? 21,309 times 5. So the first thing you need to do is to subtract 1. So that will be 21,309 minus 1. That will give us 21,308. Now divide 21,308 by 2. Okay? So when you divide this by 2, what will it give us? So let us divide this by 2. So 2 goes into 21, that's 10, remainder 1. 2 goes into 13, you'll be having 6, remainder 1. 2 goes into 10, that's 5. And 2 goes into 8, that's 4. So 21,308 divided by 2 is 10,654. So you're going to write the final answer and introduce a 5. You write 5 beside it. You will write 5 beside it. So that's 106 10654, then 5 beside it. So the answer is 106,545. If you understand this, type 10 in the comment section. If you understand this, type 10 in the comment section. Now it is question time. It It is question time. It is stars time. Let's see those who understand the concept. Let us see those who understand the concept. Okay, so this is my first question. Don't forget we have learned how to multiply even numbers by 5 and also how to multiply odd numbers by 5. So that's on that basis I'll be giving you questions to answer. Okay, so number 1, what 34 times 5? 1334 times 5. This is an even number, so divide the number by 2, write down your answer and write 0 beside it. Type your answer in the comment section. Fantastic, fantastic. This is good. I can see some students answering their questions fast. So I want to see more students with fast fingers. All right, so 1334 times 5 is equal to 6670. If this was the answer that you typed, give yourself 3 stars. Give yourself 3 stars. Give yourself 3 stars. All right, so let's move on to the next question. This next question will also give you 3 stars. This next question will also give you 3 stars. So what is 768 times 5? Do it mentally. 768 times 5. Let's see the students with the fastest fingers. Okay. Divide the number by 2. Write down your answer and write 0 beside it. Divide the number by 2. Write down your answer and write 0 beside it. Okay, so let's do this together. 768 divided by 2. When you divide 7 by 2, you have 3, remainder 1. Divide 16 by 2, you have 8. Divide 8 by 2, you have 4. Then write 0 beside it. So 768 times 5 is equal to 3,840. Now let's look at the next one. These next two questions will focus on multiplying odd numbers by 5. Don't forget that you have to subtract 1 before you divide the number by 2. Then you write 5 beside your answer. You have to subtract 1 before dividing the number by 2. Then you write 5 beside your answer. So what is 119 times 5? Let's do this in 5 seconds. What is 119 times 5? One hundred and 19 times 5. 119 times 5. Correct. So the answer is 595. The answer is 595. Correct. Now the next question. What is 845 times 5? Do it mentally. 845 times 5. These are odd numbers, so subtract 1 before you divide. Okay. Correct. The right answer is 4,225. The answer is 4,225. So for the first question, you have 3 stars. The second question, you have 3 stars. All right. The third question, also, if you get it right, you have 3 stars. For the fourth question, you also have 3 stars. All right. So I believe most of you should have 12 stars by now. Now, what other mental math concepts are we going to learn? All these concepts we are learning are useful for you when you're solving your regular mathematics in the school. They are useful for you when you're solving your regular maths in the school. Very important. Now, let's quickly go straight to solving general math. We're going to solve general math, and the topic that we'll be looking at simultaneous equations. We'll be having some examples under simultaneous equations. Fantastic. I can see lots of stars. Okay. Okay, so let's look at solving some questions. Let's treat some questions under simultaneous equations. Some students have told me that they have issues with simultaneous equations. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to also learn how to solve simultaneous equations using the graphical method, you use substitution method, and you use elimination method. So right now I will begin with the graphical method. And under the graphical method, you need to understand what we mean by the table of values and the scale. You need to understand table of values, the scale, and the graph. Okay, so now for table of values, it's a table that will help you do the calculation of the variable y. You know, when it comes to simultaneous equations, we have to solve for x and we solve for y, depending on the variables you have been given in the equation. It can be that you want to solve for m or you want to solve for n. You want to solve for m and n at the same time. That's why we call it simultaneous equation. It has to do with you solving an equation that has two variables. Simultaneous equations deal with solving equations that have two variables. Okay, so we'll be looking at table of values. So this is an example. Draw a graph of the equations below. Draw a graph of the equations below with the values of x ranging from +3, ranging from -3, ranging from -3 to +3. Okay, now these are the two equations. If you can hear me, please type 9 in the comment section. If you can hear me, please type 9 in the comment section. Okay, some of you want angles of elevation and depression. Okay, so these are the equations. The first one is y is equal to 2x plus 10. Y is equal to 2x. Okay, I'm just trying to get the question right. So y is equal to minus 2x plus 10. All right, then the second equation. The second equation is y is equal to 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3. So the first thing to do is to draw the table of values. Now you move to your table. So what I'm going to do now is to bring out a table. So I'm going to insert my table. Okay, so the question says with x ranging from plus 3 to with x ranging from minus 3 to plus 3. So we have minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Then to my left side, you're going to write out the values of the expression with the value of y, okay? You're going to arrange these terms right here. So we have minus 2x plus 10, then y. So with this, we can start doing the calculation. Minus 2x means minus 2 times x. And for minus 2 times x, we are going to substitute x with the value of x. Look at the first row of this table right here. You can see that we have the value of x showing us minus 3, minus 2, x is minus 3, x is minus 2, x is minus 1, x is 0, x is 1, x is 2, x is 3. So now minus 2 times x, that will be minus 2 times minus 3, that is plus 6, because minus times minus is plus, 2 times 3 is 6. Now minus 2 times minus 2, that is plus 4. Minus 2 times minus 1, that is plus 2. Minus 2 times 0, that's 0. Minus 2 times 1, that's minus 2. Minus 2 times 2, that's minus 4. Minus 2 times 3, that is minus 6. Now, plus 10 is a constant, which means all through you're going to have plus 10 written all through. It is not to be multiplied by anything. Then what will be the value of y? So which means we're going to add up these numbers together. 6 plus 10 will give us 16. 4 plus 10 will give us 14. 2 plus 10 will give us 12. 0 plus 10, that is plus 10. Then 10 minus 2 or minus 2 plus 10. Okay, so anytime you have negative and positive, the best thing is say the positive before the negative. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 10 minus 4 is 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. Now, we have been able to get the table of values for the first equation. The first equation is y is equal to minus 2x plus 10. So that's the table of values for the first equation. Now, let's draw the table of values for the second equation. Let's draw the table of values for the second equation. Now we have the values of x ranging from -3 to +3. Okay, ranging from -3 to +3. Then, what are the terms? So we have 2x minus 3. We have 2x minus 3. So that will be 2x right here, minus 3, then y. So 2x means 2 times x. So 2 times minus 3, that's minus 6. 2 times minus 2, that's minus 4. 2 times minus 1, that is minus 2. 2 times 0, that's 0. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 3, 6. Now, minus 3 is a constant. So all we need to do is just to write out minus 3 all through. Then what will be the value of y? So we're going to add the numbers together. So minus 6 minus 3, that's minus 9. Minus 4 minus 3, minus 7. Minus 2 minus 3, that is minus 5. 0 minus 3, we have minus 3. 2 minus 3, that's minus 1. 4 minus 3, that is 1. Yeah, that's 1. Then 6 minus 3, that is 3. So we have been able to draw the table of values for the second equation. So this is table of values for y is equal to 2x minus 3. So in the next class, we will work towards drawing out the graph of this table of values. So in case before now you didn't understand how to draw a table of values, or you've been making a mistake in your directed numbers, you'll be making mistakes with adding your positive and negative numbers, I believe this class is of great help to you. So this is where the class will end, and we will see next time. So thank you very much for attending the class right now. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful time, everyone. Goodbye.